Excuse me. What a way to start a live stream. Hey, Mustafa. Michael, how are you? And Tom, Dr. Tom is here. Or Krishna to you, my friend. Hey, Mustafa, do you have any other form of social media? Are you on Facebook by any chance? Or Facebook Messenger? What are you sorry about, my friend? You never, ever have to apologize, my friend. Not to me. Hi, Pam. Pam, how are you? Michael says, hey there, Yogi in chat. Hey, Michael. Hey, Lady Sky. Hey, Mustafa, though, I thought if you wanted, we could go over some of those questions that you had. Lady Sky, how are you? You ready for Christmas? 4 days, 4 days to go. Tiger King says, Eric, how's your cat? Noisy. I just looked at her and she gave me a big old meow. Tiger King, you got any pets? Lady Sky says she's doing all right. I'm glad to hear that. Mustafa says, yes, Eric, I will leave a link to my Facebook account in your post on your channel. Awesome. Would love to be able to connect with you and continue our conversations off of YouTube. And Lady Sky is ready for Christmas. She says hi to Mustafa and Tiger King. I am Christmas. Christmas, the way that is basically celebrated, has nowadays little appeal to me. But I never want to talk about it too much because I don't want to diminish the joy that other people get. I did order myself a Christmas present for me. I bought a book that was recommended by, man, I don't remember. One of our guests. Oh, it was Jackie on Monday. Man, it's been a week already. She recommended Kenneth Wapnick's A Vast Illusion of Time. A Vast Illusion, Time According to A Course of Miracles. I got a used copy. Tiger King says, have you seen me last night? Love the song you sang last night. I made a video clip of it for you. This guy says, yep, can't wait till Wednesday to get here, Yogi. So what are some of your guys' Christmas traditions that you do? What's up? Says Eric, I'm sorry, and you should know, my friend, that I truly love you and I'm happy with you. It's awesome, Mustafa. But what are you apologizing for? Eric says, I'm looking forward to when our beloved guest, Karen Palmer, is scheduled to join your YouTube live. Join me again. Okay, let me reach out to her, see when she'd like to come up. Bruce City says, getting drunk. That's your That's your Christmas tradition? Titans versus Chiefs. 26-9, Titans won in today's game. Awesome. Is this the last of the regular season games? Is this the last game of the year? I'm glad if it is, I'm glad they're going out a winner. And if it isn't, then I hope they still go out a winner. Yeah, I'll reach out to Karen and see if she wants to come back up. Off the top of your heads, without looking, is there any other guests that you guys would like to come up again that we've already had that I can reach out? Didn't make clip me and my wife come up. Did you? Nope. I made a clip of me singing. Hey, Kat. Kat, are you there safely? No, they got 2 more games left. All right, let's see if we can win them both. Mustafa says, I apologize for asking so many. No, that's okay. On live a few hours ago, I felt like you were annoyed. Oh, I was not annoyed. Not even a little bit. I did get the feeling though that our guest felt like he had answered him. That's why I said, hey, if you want to talk about him tonight, I'm happy to. I can answer questions and talk about this stuff all night long. But I got the feeling that our guest was maybe ready to move on. So if it came across that I was annoyed, Mustafa, I apologize. Tiger King says, Kat, how are you? Kat says, yes, good. I'm glad, Kat. Pam says they were good questions, Mustafa. They were good questions. Agreed. So my job, as host, is to read the questions and read the guest and try to keep everything moving along. So I will probably make mistakes, but my mistakes should never ever reflect on you guys ever. Hey, Adam. Adam, you want to pop up? Biggest Scott says hi to Adam. Cat says hi, everyone. I'm just listening in the background while I'm packing and taking care of Jack. Why there only one cat? You haven't paid attention, Tiger King. I have an upstairs cat and I have a downstairs cat. I don't know why one decided on upstairs and one decided on downstairs, but they did. Mustafa says, Pam, thank you so much. Love you, my friend. What do you guys think of our guest today? Not every guest is going to resonate with everyone. However, I think the vast majority of them have done an amazing job of resonating with everyone. Speaking of guests.
Hello.
What's up, Adam?
Hey.
How are you?
I am great. How are you doing? I hope everyone's well.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Every day is Christmas.
Every day is Christmas.
I sometimes forget.
Me too. Me too.
Especially the other night when I popped the tire, my window with the rain out.
That's still okay.
I mean, experience to forgive myself,
Right.
I'm pretty silly.
What did Ram Dass talk about that? Grist for the mill. It's all grist for the mill.
Nice.
Tiger King says Adam is one of my favorites on here. Please tell him.
Oh, thank you, Tiger King. I love you, brother.
So You had a few things you wanted to talk about.
I don't know. I'm game for anything. I feel very empty-headed because today's lesson is I rest in God. 109, I think. I am behind you.
Right.
But then
So
some days I get too busy, I forget first thing, and if I can't start the course first thing in the morning, I just, I continue with yesterday.
right, it's a good way to do it. And there really is no mistake. There's only one rule in the entirety of the Course in Miracles, and that is one lesson a day. Gary
Hmm.
Renard told the story of meeting someone who said, yeah, I guess I'm pretty good at this. I did the course in 6 months. And Gary's thinking, you got one rule and you didn't even do that right. Hey, Paul.
Well,
I
the
don't know if
fun thing about spirituality, or this, I don't want to say seeking spiritual knowledge or anything. I think seeking is not a good place to be. If I am in the peace of God, I'm not seeking anything.
that's true.
So but the fun thing about the journey is we have, like, when I see Yogananda, I've never met him, but I mean he just kind of glowed. He was like one of the most loving, people. And and I can imagine Jesus. Yogananda was a huge fan of Jesus.
Right.
And imagine somebody glowing more than Yogananda. I mean, wow.
Yep.
So
He
the
has
bar.
there's a little uh I don't know what it's called, little thing of the avatars from the Self-Realization Fellowship back there. And Jesus, Babaji, Krishna are the most prominent.
Amazing people. The bar's high. No matter what your discipline is, I mean, work or whatever. I mean, if you're a surgeon or whatever, there's always somebody that's got something that you need, and most likely there's somebody better than you,
Right.
alive
Hey,
or dead.
our friend Paul came in and he asked just in general, I guess, have you heard of Sadhguru? You ever follow any of
Yeah,
Sadhguru stuff?
yeah, I like Sadhguru. Um, one thing I love that Sadhguru taught his children was there's nobody above you and there's nobody beneath you. I mean, that's just it.
Right.
You don't fall into weird savior issues that way. I mean, you know, although all my brothers and sisters are my savior, right? And I think that's in A Course in Miracles. My brother is my savior.
I don't know if it's worded exactly that way, but the sentiment is through the entire
Yeah,
course.
I mean, or my perception of my brother, whatever. You know, um, I mean, really, I know it says only you can save you, but anyway, I have a very bad memory. That's such impressive guests that know so much.
Hey, any of them? I was just asking this before. Any guests resonate like slightly more than others, or more than others, or is there any guests that you'd like me to like anytime soon invite back?
Kind of all of them, but uh, you know,
Do you remember Mark Glenn?
he asked me my favorite. Like, what mood am I in? I mean, I don't have
Right.
a favorite band. I don't have a, you know, I found the Doctor of Sleep. I can't. I'm so bad with names. He was
Patel.
fascinating.
Right. Dr.
And
Patel.
yeah, Dr. Patel. And I want to read some of that. Um, I have the weirdest sleep patterns and habits and stuff. Um, but yeah, and the psychologist, I thought he was, and I wasn't aware of that a missionary went to a tribe, and I'd heard
Yeah.
references to it, but never explained so well that they went down to a tribe in South America, I guess,
Yep.
and they were just eating fish, and um, some of the healthiest people live at the bottom of this huge granite waterfall. Very simple people. They're some of the healthiest, longest living, very simple culture, and
Right. I have that. I have that book that he was talking about. Um, Don't fall asleep. There are snakes there. Um, and it really is fascinating that he went down to um, he was going to convert everyone to Christianity, and instead he converted to shamanism. Thanks, Pam. Pam says real time connection here, very powerful.
Thank you, Pam.
Hey, do you remember my guest Mark Landau? I had a lot of technical difficulties. He was in the inner circle with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and um, he later left. He wrote a book on forgiveness, and now he's doing the what is it called, the Whispering Cedars, or which is a Russian book that channeled information on living close to the land.
Oh wow.
He had a
I
lot of
might have actually missed that. I try to go. I try to watch them when I can.
right.
And by the way, to all the YouTubers out there, I lurk about a lot, and if I have quiet time, I might turn my phone on and just play. I know some people are trying to get monetized,
Right.
but I
He
do lurk a lot.
We had a lot of technical difficulties, so it wasn't a very good interview or conversation. But he's going to come up the week after Christmas, and we're going to redo it.
I'm very fascinated. I feel a strong connection to the land. Western society wants to conquer nature, it fears nature, and Native Americans, more primitive tribes, and Eastern. It's man is nature, man with nature. You know, um,
Hey, Tiger
and
King wants to know how long it's taking you to grow. How long did it take you to grow your beard?
I haven't cut my hair in 3 years. I have very slow growing hair and
Uh,
toenails.
yeah,
I never have to trim my toenails; they just don't go anywhere.
um, one of my ultra running days, I lost a bunch of toenails, and they're just now, 5 years after my last race, they're just now starting to grow back.
Oh wow, that's some.
Um,
The feet take an amazing amount of abuse.
they do.
They really
He
do.
he also wants to know, is seeing some kind of stone wall, because he likes the wall behind it.
Oh, thank you. Um, yeah, I laid that. It's in my fish tank. My water's cloudy, and a little sunburst, and you know, yeah. I'll
Awesome.
probably go turn the lights on in a minute. It's getting dark. I have to be outside so that I can get a connection. I hope I'm
Right.
coming in clearly.
Mustafa says hi to you.
Hello, Mustafa.
Michael says, when your feet hurt, everything hurt. Totally relate, Eric.
I have a fake toe joint,
Do you?
and yeah, and mostly I'm not a big believer in orthopedic. It can go bad, and but I had a podiatrist surgeon, and he turned he turned me down for anything because there wasn't anything decent, And then he said I would put this in my own body, and sure enough, I've had like 2 good surgeries and probably 5 bad ones.
Well,
And he's one of them. He's a great guy. He really is.
hey, Pam says, oh, wow, your stonework is amazing, Adam.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
For people who might not know, Adam's and he's gonna be modest about this. Adam is an amazing artist in so many different modalities.
Well, thank you, Yogi.
People need
I
to
was
know.
a fan dental tech at one time. But again, there's a better dental tech out there. But I mean, I was slick, you know. Hollywood people would do fine with my crowns and bridges.
Hey, Sniper wants to know. Sniper wants to know if you would show him your stonemason signature.
um, Tight, even joints is about it. Sometimes I'll put circles or weird things in walls, but every joint is tight and even.
Hey,
Anal recorded.
was any of that planned out, or did you just sort of freestyle it?
Oh God, I had to plan it out. I mean, I had to build up to start the bottom part. Of course, I had a form in place, and I really lucked out with the thickness of the rock. I did not have to shave a single rock to slide it in.
Well,
I mean, and there's no mortar at the pinch. That's all rock on rock at the center circle. So it just kind of
Evan
worked out.
Evan says that stonework with the keystone is an ancient technique.
Yes. I wouldn't really call that a key. I mean, a key's kind of, and then the key is very important, but also these two at a certain point on the arch. I could figure that out mathematically if I was. But I mean, you see those coliseums where they're just building arch upon arch. I mean, it's I forget so much. But those 2 points are called something and important.
Right. Michael says, "Oh, cool. That's a fish tank inside it too."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
How do you feed the fish?
inside.
Oh, so the water goes all the way.
I live in there. My name is what, Diogenes Dog. I should have made it Diogenes Dog, but Diogenes was like a crazy guy who like slept in jars, and I don't poop in the streets, or I try not to offend people, but Diogenes said that dogs don't worry about anything and they're so happy, and all you people. In fact, he offended Alexander the Great, and Alexander the Great sent him to his father, who was still, and and his father let him go because he was so impressed with him. But he told him that king or pauper, you're all you're all servants to the same thing. Um, if my mind is all set on how wealthy and powerful I am, or how weak and needy I am, it's the same thing. So but
Hey,
I built this for my friend, and I just live there. I live for free. I
oh,
don't pay
nice.
rent. Yeah.
Hey, Sniper wanted to know. Um, what he's asking is, do you have an atom symbol? A sigil.
Oh, I do have a sign on my paintings like that. Hey, wait a minute. I'll be right back.
Sure.
But I didn't sign this work yet.
Evan says his brother's a bricklayer. Let's see. David asked me how I got into yoga. I read a book when I was 11. I was hooked ever since. In the late 80s, I did the correspondence courses from the Self Realization Fellowship, Paramahansa Yogananda. I like it.
Wait. You're always talking about the whatever experiment, the pointing.
Yep.
So, but my signature is A S, and it makes a P. So it's just kind of a trying to think of something I signed. But anyway, I'm gonna put this back. I thought it was funny because I was thinking about I'm giving that to my son for Christmas. Um, but I thought it was funny to point a painting to my because this is an image of my hand pointing to the image of my face. And
Right.
it was-
Michael said very, very talented.
well, thank you.
And again, multi-talented. Can fix
Um,
cars too.
Stuff. One, I mean, we have a symbiotic relationship here, me and Tortoise. I mean, he lets me live here free and sponge, you know, and he buys all the bird seed, and I get to enjoy the birds.
There you
But
go.
but I am a good plumber or electrician, residential.
Right.
I can fix a house.
So
Cars,
you
I'll
it's
fix
not
my own car.
it's not
I'm
like you
sorry.
don't uh you're contributing, taking care of the house. You built a wonderful wall there behind you.
Yeah, thank you. I built
How
stairs. I did a lot out here, and
how do
I
you
was a
guys
dental tech.
how do you guys know each other?
He was my boss.
Well,
Um, dental lab, which I feel sorry for anybody who owns a dental lab unless they have like 400 or 500 employees, because it used to be a small group of people, which really kept quality nice. I mean, either it was a good lab or a bad lab, you know, but um, but small numbers and stuff, and uh, in the days of big conglomerate, whatever, it's. But Tortoise was training me to open my own lab. Had I started this job earlier, I probably would have made a lot more money.
hmm,
you know, uh, I actually worked for a mega lab, and they paid me peanuts, and I mean for what I was doing, and they treat people like crap.
hey,
If I had met my quota, if I had met my quota at this big lab for and working for my friend here, I would have gone home with about $650 every day.
well,
So, you
it's
know,
about what I make a month
right now, me too.
on a good month.
Right now, me too. But man, I told my son money is energy, and I'm just not really into that energy. I mean, it's helpful, it's useful, and I seem to get what I need. But do I want to be a banker? No. I mean, I just
Okay, would you ever consider showing your artwork, like a gallery showing?
Well, funny you mentioned. I haven't painted in like 30 years. I've painted more in the past 6 weeks than I have in the past 30 years, minus that. And but then I started painting on rocks because I ran out of canvas and I just didn't want to go buy one. And I have this crazy short on TikTok. It's on YouTube as well, and it went like viral on TikTok, like sixty
Well,
thousand views. So I'm thinking younger people would like my goofy anatomy paintings on rocks, and I get practice. I just like the act of painting.
right.
Kind of,
Hey,
and
if you showed them on YouTube and TikTok, um, would you like consider selling them? It's amazing when you think art, you might not need a gallery anymore and show it on YouTube.
um, yeah. I mean, if somebody wanted to buy it, yeah, yeah, sure. However, there's a place in Huntsville. It's just a bunch of studios and galleries. I mean, mostly studios, but they sell stuff. And I was thinking if I painted enough of these rocks to do a show, you really need a theme. People like themes,
Right.
and so if I painted a bunch of these, and I'm going to call them death paintings because, well, I hope my phone doesn't die. Um, because I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom of these rocks and have paintings on them, and they're like desk paintings, you know. You can, and they got two sides to them. And but anyway, if I but I would like to donate half of the profits to St. John Julian Wanayama, um, Tanzania. Wow, I can't something children lost my memory. But anyway, he has a dog for every child. He has taken 200 handicapped children off the streets of
Well,
Tanzania.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, he's a beautiful guy, and you know,
Hey, Mustafa wants to know how old you are.
58.
Just a
I
youngster.
still have kind of brown.
Just a youngster. Now you're just rubbing it in. 2 years younger than me, full head of hair.
There's a lot more gray there than it might appear, but hair is overrated, man. You can't have hair because it gets in the way of your, you know, you
Well,
got that connection, you know.
I wanted the ponytail. I wanted to do the George Carlin old man hippie thing,
Well,
and
do it.
I thought I earned it. That
Yeah.
I'm at a place in my life where, and if you during the COVID shutdown, I actually grew it and I had it. And you ever watched my early burpee videos? I'm doing burpees with my ponytail flopping around in the back.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm glad you said nice because you know what? Kat said, had she met me then, it would have been a no go. She's like, I'm so glad you got rid of it. So she's like, the thing that I think her exact words, the thing that you call a ponytail was her exact words, I believe. That thing you call a ponytail. So it did not look as cool as I thought I would look.
Well, people sometimes ask me, do you want to get back with your ex-wife? And no, for multiple reasons, but this right here is definitely a deterrent. She's not a beard kind of lady.
No?
No. But
Michael says Yogi has hair, it just went in a different direction, different places.
hairy toes.
Pam says her dog is giving me face kisses. Can't see the screen.
I love dog. I have a special place in my heart for dogs. I love elephants and birds and all, but dogs are just
Long John did not like my ponytail either. He said he'd seen it. I would have told you to shave that, Yogi. Still, I think they're missing the point. The old man hippie, it wasn't trying to look cool. It was letting my freak flag grow and fly once again. It was a return to my hippie roots, my Grateful Dead days. No one appreciated it.
Before I grew this beard, I was working at Oral Arts, and whoops, I might not should have said that, but anyway, they pissed me off. So I used to show up in my business attire and stuff, and so I started growing just like one strand of hair at the bottom of my chin, and I started wearing jammies to work. But yeah, letting your freak fly is awesome. Oh man. Yeah.
Our friend, new friend, Ken, says, I like lamp.
Lamb?
Yep, lamp. LAMP. So which lamp? Do you got a lamp behind you? Or do I have a lamp behind me?
Oh. It's a fish tank. Speaking of, it is getting a bit dark. I'll turn the lights on. Rock looks really cool with light, I think. It kind of shows off the texture.
Tiger King wants to know the last thing that you've drawn.
Huh. Wow. One of the last things. Oh, well, I've painted a hot dog today.
No, wait a minute. Did you paint a hot dog, like an actual hot dog, and you painted it, or did you paint did did you paint a hot dog on a piece of canvas?
On a rock. An
All right. So okay,
image of a hot dog.
on a rock.
You got me. You got me. Yeah. But I tried to draw a happy Jesus on a crucifix. Um, because there are records that say that when he was on his way to crucifixion, it was like no big deal, and weep not for me, and um, one line that really confused me for so many years was, "Father, Father, why hast thou forsaken me?" Well, that he was quoting a psalm. And in that psalm, it starts out, "Father, why have thou forsaken me?" But then in the end, it was my mind or whatever. And but so the funny thing is to me is that when he says, "Father, Father, why hast thou forsaken me?" The Roman soldiers had no idea probably what he was talking about. But every Jewish person there, realized he was quoting the psalm. He wasn't crying out, you know, he wasn't desperate.
Right.
So
Um, some say that. Hey, Jonathan Carpenter here. Some Course Miracle students that Jesus did not experience pain on the crucifixion because he, at that point, he no longer identified as a body at all, fully identified with Holy Spirit.
I would say to not feel pain, he could not identify with the experience itself.
Okay.
We are
Okay.
experiential beings, like this psychologist. I really wish I could remember people's names, but
Chris Chris Niebauer.
yeah. I mean, when people say we are consciousness, I mean, it sounds like a box to me. The word itself,
Right.
consciousness. Well, experiential. I mean, life is experiential. We are experiencing. We're verbing. I've heard you say that before, but
Okay. That's
it-
that's a Kabbalah quote actually. That
okay,
yeah, we're not nouns, we're verbs. We're verbing.
yeah.
What's the matter says not everyone can pull off the George Carlin look. Go back and look at my videos. I think I did a pretty decent job. That's it. Cat, the ponytail's coming back. Adam convinced me. If you don't like the ponytail, you only have Adam to blame.
If you told me you were cousins to George Carlin, I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
See?
sure."
Thank you. Um,
Y'all both come from a long line of smartasses.
well, thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate that. Jonathan, I appreciate you stopping by. Jonathan, he's just stopping by to say hello. I like most of your videos. I don't say much these days, but I appreciate you all. Hope you're doing well. I am Jonathan. I hope you're doing well too. Long John says, almost got my hair and half. Oh, he's singing Crosby, Stills and Nash. Freak Flag, Freak Flag Fly.
What a wonderful album.
Yep.
Deja Vu. Oh man. There's so much wisdom in rock and roll. And it's funny, the more stuff I studied, just all these rock and roll lyrics would pop into my mind. And I would actually listen to songs differently. There's certain music that just fell away. I have no connection to it.
Right.
But it's been a long time since I listened to the Dead Kennedys so.
Kat says, no, give it up, Yogi. Just no.
Well, when I was married, I finally started folding towels Bethany's way. Uh,
Um, let's see. Our friend Goat says music can heal or destroy. Do you agree with
it
that?
can. Yes. And
How would music destroy? In what way?
well, nothing real can be destroyed. Um, however, in the dream, you listen to a bunch of angry music. The next thing you're beating up your appliances, kind of thing. Um, music really influences mood. I, I think there's a some kind of Buddhist temple where as you enter the temple gates, there's drums, and then there's horns, and strings, and then bells, and they're supposed to uh, awake each chakra as you go through. The drums are the lower chakra, and, you know, piano and bells, up here. Um, but yeah, music is a huge. Sometimes I believe the whole purpose for this freaking planet is though because we get really good music. It's
It's
one
not
of
a
the
bad.
highest.
You ever think that the music we make is just a continuation of a larger vibration? Uh, like we had the going back to string theory, that the universe comes into existence through um, invisible strings that just want to vibrate for whatever reason. They vibrate in different patterns, and vibrating in this way, and you get these particles vibrating another way. You get other particles, and that the particles vibrate, they become atoms, and on and on and on. And we're just a continuation of that vibrational quality that is life. Our job is to vibrate in beautiful ways.
I think everything is a vibratory emanation of grander emanation.
Right.
And I think our experiential vibrations vibrate tinier things and so on and so on. I mean, um, and I think that, like the word misaligned, um, when I learned pottery, I threw this raku bowl that was like near perfect. And I mean, my ceramic instructor, really good ceramicist, after we rakued it, and this is a low fire, it was beautiful, but I mean, it just had this perfect curve to it. Well, I lived in a cabin at the time, and I had it on top of my refrigerator, and it got knocked off. And as it hit the floor, it just rang like a bell. Boom, boom. Had this beautiful vibration, and it didn't break.
Well,
This is not a hard piece of porcelain. This is a low fire, and that just popped into my head because you know if we're angry, uh, we're stressed, seeking, you know, what some might call misaligned. I think our music's a little funky. I mean, I use you as an example, Yogi. I really think that you've enjoyed talking with all these people who have been course students, uh, you know, um, givers, I would like to say, I mean, and plus you have so many that, show up here all the time who are very giving people, like Kat and Sissy and, anybody doing live streams and, you know, uh, but when our intention is pure, like love or I just started painting on rocks and I enjoy it. I don't know if I'm going to make money or not, but if I really just enjoy love the experience, just be happy with it, happy with my work. Um, I think we make beautiful music in our own ways. Like Lady Sky, she's going to come up and cook.
Yep.
That's interesting because when people cook with love, it's extra delicious. I love the Candy Man.
And the yogic traditions, it's Krash, which is, I believe I'm saying that right, um, devotional cooking. That when you are cooking for someone, you're making an offering. You're literally giving it a blessing, so that when people eat the food, they're not just eating the nutritional quality; they're ingesting the spiritual quality of this food as
Yeah.
well. You've heard me talk about Ho'oponopono.
Yes.
Um, I try to do Ho'oponopono and send light to my food as I'm eating it. Like if I'm washing an apple, I want to do Ho'oponopono because of all the connections that Apple has, from the cashier, from the bagger who put it in a bag, the cashier who rang it up, to the shopper who might have selected it if I'm ordering, to the truck drivers, to the people that picked it, to the people that boxed it, to the tree, to the branch that held it, to the seed, to the sun, to the rain. Uh, all of it, there's this karmic connection. So you want to cleanse anything that might have happened during these chain of events, and you want to bless all the good stuff that brought it here, and that I can enjoy this wonderful apple magically showing up every morning. There's an apple. I didn't make the apple. It's there for me to
It's
enjoy and nourish me.
That's one of the coolest things as a kid, as brought up in traditional religion. I thought it was cool that people prayed for their food or prayed over their food. And the phrase that always caught me, because a lot of people just blab about this and, oh, thank you that we have a Cadillac or whatever, but bless this food to the nourishment of my body was a typical Church of Christ, cap at the end of the prayer. And I always thought, bless this food to the nourishment of my body. And it got me thinking, and and I truly believe that if a man ate a hot dog with love and appreciation, he would be better off by eating a salad and resentment.
I
You
would
know,
agree. Dick Van Dyke was asked just the other day, last week, secret to uh, living to be 100, and one of the things he said was not keeping any hate in your heart.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Um,
I can say I don't have any hate in my heart, but I don't watch the news. I don't tempt myself too much. You know, I mean, I know people do horrible things. Characters do. You know, um,
that's that's the key.
I think Alan Watts said that we have villains so that we can like and feel good about good people. You have to have the contrast. So, you know, however,
Um, Long John wanted to know: did you do? I think you meant the framework around the window. Did you do that? Did you do the solder course with a stone around the window?
no, I didn't do any solder. It's all mud, mortar. It's all just mortar. The light kind of catches the rock. Um, Interesting at night. I think maybe if I walk down here, I'm glad people like my stonework,
Yeah.
but the starburst kind of shows up better at night. And the fish would look really cool if my aquarium wasn't cloudy. I have too many. That aquarium's really for the size of one goldfish, but I didn't want my goldfish to be lonely, so I'm gonna go with a bottom filtration maybe later, and that whatever.
Pam says, yes, my father always prayed over our meals. It was a sacred moment when we joined hands and blessed our food to the nourishment of our bodies. Beautiful. Um, you know, certain things that we've let slide as a culture. We don't have to be religious to bless the food that we're about to ingest. Uh, you know, I think we know enough now about quantum physics to know that everything, what you and I were talking about, everything is vibrating, everything has a quality, uh, and that everything's affected by the observer. So why not bless that food and make it more nutritious? And uh, you know, if anything, it brings people together, makes you feel good.
I was looking in my son's psychology book, and he's in college, and something else I got to forgive was in there. It was talking about praying is ineffective in hospitals. They did a study, and that praying is ineffective in hospital. You know, that's very funny to me because I have seen stats of studies that strongly suggest that praying is very effective in hospitals. And it's like, what are they trying here? What are they trying to brainwash people with?
Right.
And but yeah, you had the guy, I forget his name, but he was talking about like some monks or something were praying in DC, for people and crime rates and stuff.
Yep.
You know.
That was called the Maharishi effect. It was a transcendental meditation experiment, and it was proven to be very effective, and it's been repeated.
Yeah.
So, got a couple questions, couple statements. Pam says, "Oh well, what a beautiful aquarium, Adam! It's stunning." Tiger King wanted to know how long it took you to do the wall.
Um, well, I don't know. I'm so I'm not lazy. I say I'm lazy, but I worked so hard for so many years, and then I just decided that, whatever, it'll get done when it gets done.
Sure.
Total hours, I don't know, maybe 4 days. You know, maybe a solid 40 hours.
And Long John said I'd gotten it wrong. He said soldier course around the window. The way the stone
Oh,
is laid vertically rather than horizontally as a soldier course, and he did a damn good job.
oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, soldier course. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, I was this. I was a professional painter when I was in college. House painter, or whatever. And no, everybody can't paint. Everybody thinks they can paint their house, but no. I mean, there's stuff to know. And but anyway, then I became a stonemason and then a dental tech, and now I just kind of piddle around with stone. But yeah,
Cool.
I used to be a serious stonemason. 8-10 hours every day. Go go go.
Good way to stay in shape, right?
I was very strong. Yeah, 210. I'm 5'8", and I was 210.
Well,
And I would actually sink to the bottom of an Olympic pool. I've had swim instructors put me in the floating position, and I just don't float. I've never. I didn't try that when I was overweight. I got overweight when I transitioned from stonemason to dental tech. And then I lost almost 30 pounds in a month. And
I
so,
went from about 215 to 150 training for a judo tournament from September to February.
so you lost the weight for the judo?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would, sparring styles or whatever. My sparring style would be very different at 210 than it would be 170,
Right.
160.
Well, I was, at 215, 220 or so. I was going up against people in my weight class, but they were 6'1", 6'2". They just had better leverage. And my coach at the time thought I would do better losing some weight. I don't think he knew I was going to lose that much weight, but I went pretty hardcore in the training. Biscuits.
Yeah. Yeah, it's physical work is my son is quite an amazing athlete, although he doesn't do anything. He runs. Um but anyway, when he was younger, got him a weight set, free weights. I told him, if you're gonna do weights, you need to do free weights. That's my opinion. And I said, if you really want to get strong, go work with me. And we were clearing out a road. And he was dragging out trees at age 12 or whatever. And yes, he became incredibly strong. We were building a wall out here on this really steep hill, and he was toting 290-pound landscape block at a time all day long. And physical work makes you strong.
Yep. Long John says that masonry is the hardest trade in the world. I've heard that. I've heard the two physically hardest jobs ever is masonry and professional YouTubing. I don't have any studies to show that this is true, but I feel in my heart that it is probably true.
It would be incredibly difficult for me. I don't think I'll ever go live. I don't. I enjoy coming up and talking with you, Yogi, but I'm just not a. I think if you met anybody I've ever known, they would say he's a great guy. But I'm not the dude that just starts hanging out in your living room every day and whatever. I mean, I'm close to people, but I've always, sometimes I'll just disappear. I like options.
Right.
I was talking to a guy at Low Mill, that art place, and he was he used to be a stockbroker, pretty well off stockbroker, and he seemed to have some kind of guilty association with it. And I was just talking. We were just talking. And and so I told him, I absolve you. And it's almost like the guy actually felt, a sense of relief from me being silly, absolving him of his crimes, And he asked me if I was a yogi, and I'm like, well, no, I like to leave a door open somewhere. Tomorrow I might be different. Although I will say, for I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I do know that my internal state is very important. I don't need to go around pissed off and mean, and
I've never seen that from you before. Sure
well,
it can happen. It can happen to any of us.
I was very angry during times of, just stuff. I had a beautiful, marriage for a long time, and my wife was successful with her teaching, and I was doing well as a dental tech, and then all of that just went to hell, or whatever, and yeah, I was pretty pissed off, and I kind of let it out on some people, and I forgive myself for that. And,
do you? Well, I was going to ask you that. If we often talk in the Course of Miracles about forgiveness. Not often. I mean, that's the whole premise of the entirety of the book, of the practice. But very often, people leave out self-forgiveness. They've forgiven everything. They've forgiven every slight, that others have done, but they leave it out for themselves.
Well, they have to go hand in hand. or I don't think you'll get anywhere.
Right.
If I can't forgive myself for, say, being lazy, then I'm going to go around judging everybody else. I really am. Or, you know, using that scale, oh, I respect them so much because they're so prolific and, whatever. Um, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what we do. It matters, with our heart there. Um, it really, people talk about God, higher self, all this, but Gurdjieff talks about the driver, the carriage, and the horse.
Right. That's
You know,
a Vedic story as well.
well,
And who was it?
well, that kind of leaves out an important aspect, and it doesn't really, but I'm sure it implies it. But I mean, you got to have a map, a destination, some kind of. The mind needs guidance. If you just let the mind drive the carriage, you're going to wear the horse out. You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to,
Right.
and I think love is a good compass or map.
Our friend Serving My Redeemer says, Eric, you ever listen to Klaus Weiss, Tibetan Bowls residents? You ever heard that?
Oh yeah, yeah, love that.
Nice.
I like doing it with wine glasses too.
Oh, cool.
I haven't done it in forever because I hardly ever drink. I'm not opposed to drinking, but it's been wow, it's been a long time since I had any wine, and I do really enjoy a good wine.
Kentucky, Kinnatuck. I know I'm going to get that wrong. Can we talk about flight MH37 and how it relates to quantum entanglement? Can you talk about that, Adam?
Quantum what? Wait, I'm sorry.
Can we talk about flight MH370 and how it relates to quantum entanglement? Quantum entanglement.
I don't know what happened on Flight 370. Did it like show up from the past, or I don't know. What
I don't know.
what was,
Hey,
what was what was the ship experiment where people ended up like
Philadelphia experiment.
Mm,
Sniper and I've talked
yeah,
about that before.
yeah, I mean
Hey, KWR. I don't know how you're gonna like this or not, but he looked at you and says, "Moby, wow, I'm a big fan." I
Moby.
guess he thinks that you look like Moby,
I don't know who Moby is.
the
Is that
musician.
I'm bad about names.
He's
I can't name.
he does, I guess, techno stuff.
Oh, I like techno some. Yeah. Yeah. I can't name the Stones. Of course I know Keith Richards, but I mean, who's the guitar player?
Right.
The guitar player is a better musician than Keith Richards. I just know Keith Richards been hammered in my head so many times.
One of the best musicians in the Stones ever was Charlie Watts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now yeah, ding, ding, ding. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So and the only reason I know Paul, George, John, and Ringo. I mean, holy crap! I mean, how many times have you heard those names in a row? But
Soundtrack of my life.
you know, plus it'd be so fun to be one of them. It's their movies and all that. It's hard to imagine me being Mick Jagger, although sometimes I like to pretend.
So, Kinetic. Sorry, thank you for helping me with that. Kinetic Custom says, so Flight 370 disappeared into black hole in the sky while surrounded by three orbs.
Oh wow. Is this a modern thing?
When did this happen? What's this says? That's hilarious, Eric. Sniper says when the third orb locked in place, it was locked in. Thank you, Pam. We had a friend in there, Ziddy, who was having some difficulty, and Pam offered us some comfort, saying everything will pass. The only constant is change. I've been where you are, and now I'm not. Beautiful, my friend.
I like Minyar Rinpoche. A lot of people talk about, we are the eternal sky, and these things are clouds. Sometimes there's a whole stormy day, but the clouds, you know, good old song. Here comes the sun. Yeah, here comes the sun. Do 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 do.
Favorite song, one of my favorite songs. I mentioned this before. I started out as a kid, um, Paul McCartney fan. He was my favorite
Yeah.
Beatle. And then in my teen years, a little rebellious, um, John Lennon, of course. And then when my spiritual practices began deepening, George Harrison. Poor Ringo, never my favorite, but he's still an amazing drummer, underappreciated. But now older, back to Paul McCartney, full circle. He's just to me, he's the ultimate Beatle. Uh,
Happy
just,
songs.
yeah,
One of my
he,
first albums was Ram. I love the album Ram. It's just silly, and fun, and I don't know. And then also serious. I love the last song. Speed along the highway, honey, I want it my way. But listen to. Anyway, yeah, I
uh,
dig Paul McCartney. I love Ringo because, well, many reasons. Have you ever seen the Magic Christian Ship?
uh,
Yeah, you can watch it free on YouTube. It is hilarious. Ringo Starr to me is one of the funniest people alive.
you ever seen Caveman?
Yeah, oh, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I love Caveman too. He's a funny guy.
yeah. When
Magic
they
Christian Ship is even more. Yeah. I
the,
seldom laugh out loud to movies, but it got me.
and Caveman when they invented music, when they were sitting around the fire and someone accidentally banged something, and someone else banged something else, and then someone else started doing this and doing that, and before you know it, they were playing this song. Tiger King wants to know how
Um,
many fish do you have?
I got two goldfish, a Placo, and several snails. Since this window is, you know, uh, facing out and gets a little bit of sunlight, direct sunlight, I need to keep the algae down. But again, I think my tank is a little too crowded, and I'm going to go with a better filtration system. I think it'll clear up. It's usually clear though.
Sniper's offering lyrics from Fool on a Hill. Excellent song.
Oh yeah, I feel like a fool on a hill because I mean I do. I live very. Somebody was talking about children of the '70s had an experience that no other. There was so much stuff around, and we were kind of feral. It was like we drank from the hose. We played in dirty creeks. You but I had a friend of mine tell me that I'm feral, and because he's like, I don't date, I don't really seek, you know, and and it's not not as much anymore, but even still, I find certain women attractive, which that body doesn't mean anything, but um, you know, uh, I don't think a woman will want to put up with my weirdness. I like a floor I can put cigarette butts out on, and
Hey,
you know,
if I don't know, if I found people to put up with my weirdness voluntarily, um, then I think you're in the clear. I think you're in the clear.
I don't know, man. I'm like Pigpen. You get in
My
my car, dust. The dust
my
has to
weirdness is
settle.
pretty profound though. I mean, I eat the same thing every day, every single day, the exact same thing every day. Uh, I'm up at 2:15 in the morning, uh, breath work, yoga, Course in Miracles, writing, 1 cup of coffee, uh, 3 walks every day. I never miss a day's workout. I never miss my meditation. 3 times a day, YouTubing. Never missed it. 2,000 days, um, or 2,000 times in a row.
That
Um,
is so weird to me. And believe me, I had to really process this in my right brain because I mean my left brain because wait, which is it? Now I'm having a dyslexic moment. Oh yeah, yeah. I had to process that in my left brain because my right brain is going. How can I do this? This is wow. How can somebody be so consistent? Like what's up here?
um, the only reason I said that about my own deep and profound weirdness, I started thinking. I really hope Kat's asleep and isn't watching, because I hope that she's like going, "Huh, I hadn't thought of that before." he is he is pretty weird. Now that it occurs to me, maybe he's a little too weird. So hopefully
Well,
Kat's up. She said no. She's still here.
man, it's the idiosyncrasies I think in people that draw us closer together. Um, you know, I,
Kat says, yeah. Kat says nope. And then she says, but I do think of it, my weirdness, every time she talks to me when I'm making my midday meal. And my midday meal, my biggest meal of the day, is at 9:30 in the morning, between
mhm.
9 and 10.
Well, I
9 and
mean,
10.
because it's practical, right?
Yeah.
That's when you get your most health. I think I was falling asleep at 9 o'clock this morning.
Um,
I was
if you
resting in God.
if you heard Dr. Patel, eat the majority of your calories uh, earlier in the day, and then you went 3 hours between your last meal and bed for optimal
I,
sleep.
I might try on discipline this New Year's, but it would be a spring thing because I mean, New Year's Day is such a weird time for New Year's Day. I mean, today is the winter solstice,
Yep.
and you know, um, January 1st is what the sixth day of Christmas, I
Is
think,
it?
or the seventh. I don't know. January 6th is the 12th day of Christmas. That's my old anniversary. Speaking of idiosyncrasies, it's like my ex-wife. I mean, she spoke like 4, 5 languages. She wouldn't say she did, but then she understood everybody. And but anyway, and I think she was like a national merit runner-up or something. Very intelligent lady, but she was so gullible, and I mean, she was really gullible. We were driving along, and those floaters on lines, power lines, we're in the mountains. And she says, "What are those for?" And I said, "Oh, it's in case they flood. Power lines are expensive. They don't want to lose them." And she went, "Okay." And I let that sit for about an hour, and then I had to tell her, that they're for airplanes. you know, we were in the mountains. It's not like the great flood is coming. I mean, anyway, she just a lot of weird little things about her that very endearing.
Um,
You know,
One of the reasons I want to address something Stinkbug said, he said he sleeps better right after he eats a lot. We might fall asleep because we get drowsy after eating a lot, but we're talking quality. Thank you, Sil. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Quality of sleep, because it takes an enormous amount of energy to digest. Um, so that is energy that's being produced while you sleep instead of getting into that restorative sleep, instead of getting into the deeper, which is why a lot of times when we eat something and we have all these different or disturbing dreams, even if we don't remember, um, because of all that energy of digesting.
Tomato juice is supposed to give you nightmares if you consume it before you go to bed.
Huh.
Highly acidic foods, but especially tomatoes. But yeah. However, I would say that um, at times in my life I've had a hard time sleeping, and if I eat a bunch of sugar, it knocks me out. So even though I'm getting some bad sleep at first, eventually I'm getting good sleep.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. It's better to
Um,
sleep than not. However, I've cheated before and meditated like a long one, like an hour of meditation. I think
right.
I've heard that an hour of meditation is equal to 4 hours of sleep.
Um,
And
they say that yoga nidra, which is the uh, we can call it sort of a twilight sleep. It's a meditative state. 1 hour of yoga nidra is equivalent to 4 hours of sleep. Dr. Patel mentioned that. Now, a little less so with meditation, but it's still very restorative.
that yoga nidra is very similar to what super smart people like Einstein, Ben Franklin, Tesla. They would hold a coin or a marble or something, and they would sit there and they would ride the you know stage zero. I think I've heard it people called it. You actually start your visual cortex starts going, but you're not totally asleep. So
Right.
I had a hard time with that when I started meditation because I would be trying to meditate and I would be seeing all this stuff, and it was like very distracting. And I would get drawn into what my
Um,
inside pictures were doing.
right. Which is, the same with psychic gifts that can happen through meditation, as well as practicing the course. You can get psychic gifts. They're addressed in the teacher's manual. But the key is to know that they're gifts. They're not to be, and they're also distractions. They're not the objective of meditation or the practice, of course. But very many people um, they'll approach yoga and meditation to get those gifts, um, and then you never reach the ultimate goal, which is uh, Christ
Peace,
consciousness, peace.
happiness, joy, really. As Emily, I remembered her name. Emily, there's a difference between joy and happiness, which,
Right.
you know, however, I think if you're joyful, you're going to be happy a lot too. But, yeah. One huge distraction I have is that I can really feel a person's mental state. And, it's one thing to be aware of it, but I mean, I don't need to be drawn in, you know. If I can tell someone's upset in a room full of people, you know, doesn't really mean anything. It's a cloud. It's an it's something somebody's experiencing. I don't need to fix anybody. I don't need to, you know.
That's a huge lesson in the course. Um, we're not here to fix others. We want to, and we always think that well, if I could just help you be a little more at peace, it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be easier for me. It's going to be easier for this. But the course stresses over and over again that it's a course in cause and not effects. That everything and what everyone does, and even what we do, is an effect. And you're never going to change effects. They might take different forms, but unless you go to the cause, and we can see this in um, New Year's resolutions, why they generally fail, because people never go to the cause of why they're overeating, or the cause of why they're not exercising, or the cause of why they drink too much. Instead, they try to grit their teeth and say, I'm just not going to drink, or I'm going to go on the diet and lose this weight. And it's the same with forgiveness, that as long as we think we're forgiving others and we don't go to the cause, and the cause is always that we chose the wrong teacher, we chose the ego instead of choosing the Holy Spirit. When we address the cause, everything begins to change.
Yeah. I think it's real simple, and you said it before. I mean, are we kind? You know, I liked something I heard, and I'm gonna paraphrase this horribly. But let your words linger like perfume. You know, um, if every word you uttered was, the epitome of kindness and love and compassion, um, uh, it's a great way to leave a room.
Right?
You know,
I agree.
and oddly enough, that if you spend time with someone, the last few words are usually the most impressionable to most people. And of course, that's a study, and you know, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend whatever. That's not a real study, by the way. Uh, this dental tech suggests you don't use fluoride in toothpaste.
I've always sort of wondered what that 10th dentist would recommends.
He's like me. Don't brush your teeth. Screw it. Just believe your teeth are going to be okay, and they are. I'm kidding. You know, I
Um,
promote good hygiene.
Me too. Do you floss every day?
No,
No.
I
I
mean
mainly do it.
honestly, I don't brush my teeth every day.
No. I read a long time ago that flossing your teeth is very good for the heart, prevents heart disease.
Pistachios are really good for the heart.
I don't eat
By the
pistachios
way,
often, but I do eat Brazil nut, one Brazil nut every day, and almonds. I've cut down on my almonds though, and my
oh,
unfortunately,
while we're talking about health, um, purslane, plantain, dandelion. There are so many things probably in everybody's yard that they could eat. If you ate purslane, it's like eating kale times 10. I mean, so many vitamins and minerals, and I mean, nature provides us with so much, physically healthy um food.
agreed.
And um and um oh, and another thing for nuts is that if all you ate was nuts, you wouldn't need to brush your teeth. You wouldn't need to. Um, Nuts are good for your teeth.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. They're one of the foods that are found in the blue zones. Everyone eats. You know, the blue zones are those areas around the world where people routinely live. They have the highest population of healthy people between 90 and 100. Not just getting old, but being active and mentally sharp and still loving and enjoying life. Active elders in the community. And there are pockets all around the world, and they have certain things in common. One of them is they all have a serving of nuts every day.
Yeah, very, very healthy for you. And a variety of like raw almonds are good for your digestion, you know. And I know it's funny me talking about this. I'm sitting here chain smoking probably. But that's a good pick for that because yeah, I smoke, but I take no medicines. I occasionally take some ibuprofen. Um, I try to eat well, and I really try to enjoy my food. I eat very simply, but I, I'm always in the back of my head. Maybe it's my upbringing, but I'm grateful that I can eat.
Right? Sure.
you know, so
Um, but we're going to wrap things up in just a minute. It's getting close to my bedtime. As always, I enjoy that we just kick back and talk.
I like that too. I do. I
because
love you
there's
a lot, Yogi. I love so many people. I love everybody here, and what you do is really incredible. It's a great gift to people. Um, I really thought about, what do I give to the world? And I think I'm good at one-on-one, you know. I mean, just like, just random people. I'll get into conversations and people share the weirdest stuff with me. I don't ask for it. Um, and I don't mean weird, but I find it kind of I don't know. Um I'm glad people feel like they can talk to me.
um you know you're an artist. I think to me artists are some of the great givers in the world. uh that it causes so much, from joy to awe to appreciation to deep thinking. uh I think I think me art, because of what it brings, and I'm putting spirituality with art because I think some of the greatest uh, spiritual teachers ever have been artists. Um, I'm amazed at what they've given the world. I mean, I've had profound silence in meditation. I've had profound silence looking at Van Gogh's Starry Starry Night, uh, Monet's Water Lilies. Um, uh, the same thing, the same thing. And meditation. I had to learn how to meditate. I had to practice. I don't always reach that state, but with the right art at the right time, it just happens. It's a Zen experience. So you're given art.
Funny thing to me is that I almost see visual art almost pointless compared to music. Um, I mean, I enjoy looking at other people's art, but when I make art, I'm not so much judging every aspect of myself. But when I look at other art, it's almost like I'm sizing it up. It is a kind of a magical experience when it's just so freaking good that you know, it's like a perfect bell.
Right.
Ding, ding. I mean,
Agree.
wow, I can get into a meditative experience, but it's far and few between for me. But music, I mean, wow. I mean, even bad music sometimes captivates me in
Right. I've
beautiful ways.
mentioned speed. Last thing that I bring up. I've mentioned these big musical moments in my life when, like, watching silly show. It was a good show. WKRP in Cincinnati, and
Oh, yeah.
there was a clip of Dr. Johnny Fever in the DJ booth, and he was bopping along to Van Morrison's Caravan. And I was 12 years old, 13 years old. Um, I had never heard Van Morrison before, and
Oh,
it
wow.
just floored me. And I thought, there's someone who does that. There's someone who makes that kind of that sound that was so incredible. And uh, when I was maybe 9, maybe even younger, I fell in love with Bob Dylan's Free Will and Bob Dylan,
Oh, yeah.
and over and over and over again. First time I heard Janis Joplin sing "Summertime," uh, just these moments with music that stop you in your tracks, and you can't believe there's someone alive who can actually do that, to make that and make you feel this way. Yeah, I'm with you all the way with music.
Yeah. Probably the most, I love the Beatles as a kid and other things. The Doors hit me just, you know, I was getting into the psychedelic scene when I was young, actually. And, you know, I think I was 14 when I heard, the Doors for the first time. And it was reaching my head with the cold, sudden fury of a divine messenger. A quote from them.
Uh, the
Anyway.
the Doors were another one that did that. On a closing note, for the chat. I've been talking about being a peacekeeper and being a peacekeeper in live streams, not just mine, but everywhere. And I don't mean a peacekeeper by going around and pointing at other people and saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. We're all peacekeepers, and we do it in our own minds. Am I here? Am I creating peace? Am I contributing to peace? Or am I being part of some kind of disturbance? And just like people to consider that as they are participating in live streams all over the place.
Man, I think it's beautiful. And I mean, there's been tumultuous times in the chat, and actually I think at a couple of times it's like, people want me to make a decision. And what is the best defense?
None.
I think you handled it beautifully, man.
I appreciate that.
People do the best they can.
Several people have asked in the chat if you could sometime, maybe next time you come up, show your artwork.
Yeah. I was kind of nervous to come up. You had so many good guests, and and it's almost like everything's already been said, but it doesn't hurt to say it again.
Well, I don't so much consider you a guest. I consider you a friend, a spiritual companion that we're walking through this together. So for you and I'm hanging out with a friend.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate that.
Do you know what I mean? It's a subtle difference. I mean, I love all my guests, and some guests like James Path. He's a good friend.
Yeah.
But like I said, you and it's I'm hanging with a bud, and we're talking about the things that we love to talk about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for me,
sometimes I think of you kind of like a sensei.
It's a bald head. I get that all the time.
It is. With huge straps, it's like I'd hate to have to wrestle you, man. No. But anyway, yeah. I enjoy our talks very much.
Kat said she's been trying to get posts on my community page. She says to you, Adam, or you could always post some of it on Yogi's community page for all of us to see. You're welcome. You're welcome to.
I would try. I'll try. Maybe that would be nice. Yeah. I'm proud of you, Yogi, for doing the clips. Posting the shorts or whatever of your guests, because you had to learn to do that, and
I did.
I don't even know how to do a link on the chat or anything. So, but
I don't know if you heard me, tell the little story where Lisa Natoli asked me if I would do if I ever did clips, because she wanted some to share on her website, and I started saying, no, I don't, and it occurred to me. I mentioned Toy Pups, who's helped me so much on YouTube. Do I not know how to do it, or I just not do it because I never tried before? So I went and I just fooled around. I made mistakes. The funny thing is, I did it once, and I did it very successfully. And then I immediately thought, I don't remember how to do this, because I just stumbled into doing it, and I should have taken notes of my stumbling. So I had to stumble through several times. But what Lisa told me, so many guests like Vicky Poppy reached out, and she said to me, thank you for finally accepting your assignment from the Holy Spirit. And then Lisa said last week, but you only part way there, because not everyone's going to watch a live stream. Not everyone's going to make it for the live, and not everyone wants to watch an hour and a half, 2 hour live stream. Your job is now to break it down in these digestible posts that share the message of the guest, so that someone late at night who's lonely, someone who's about to take a drink and break their sobriety, someone who spouse has left them, someone who's lost a pet or a loved one or whatever, for whatever reason, they're suffering something, the algorithms bring them the guest to that guest, saying just exactly what they need to say.
Love is a strong drink, man. And not everybody can just guzzle it. And also, modern humans, our attention spans are really, we're losing our attention span. So many people couldn't watch it. I don't think they would be mentally capable of watching an hour and a half anything. You know,
Right.
I have
All
to
right.
admit, I fall asleep during movies.
Depends on the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
You remember the
Definitely.
Seinfeld episode where didn't he fall asleep during Schindler's List?
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man. Do you remember when WKRP what was it, Ned? He thought turkeys could fly.
Yeah.
So he started pushing turkeys out of a helicopter. For
Um,
man, laughter is, I think one thing that's really helped me is I can laugh at myself. And I'll go a long time just being, wow, I'm pretty cool. I do well. And then I'll do the stupidest thing. Like 2 nights ago, driving, I think there were tornado watches, big storm. I felt like I really needed to get my son back to home so he could go to work the next day. And I didn't want to wait 5-10 minutes for it to, and I popped a tire. How silly of me. I was driving blind. Yeah. But I got a good laugh out of it. Hmm.
all right. So I'm going to shut things down. I'm going to bed. I got my own little sleep routine to do.
Well, thank you, everyone. And yeah, thanks for liking my art. Um, I think I'm going to actually continue painting and maybe
Good.
even try to generate money with it.
Tiger King wants you to know that Adam's good on live. Love listening to him. He's a top guy.
Oh, thank you, Tiger King. I love you too, brother. And your
Cat,
wife.
Cat is just
We
doing the
love you.
opposite. Cat's doing
What?
just the opposite of all that I asked her to do. She's going to eat before going to bed.
I might, I don't know. Bad dreams, good dreams in my dream state, they're all just dreams. I mean, I don't mind.
Right.
I don't really have bad dreams, but you know, but I think I'll drink tomato juice before I go to sleep, Cat.
You guys are just contrary for the sake of being contrary, man. Thank you, Long John. All right. Love you guys. Come on by, hang out with me tomorrow. Miss Blipper, another fun person to hang out with. I believe she's going to be at 1:00. Tomorrow night, singing songs with Chris.
Oh, fun.
Yep, we're going to do some
Thank you,
Christmas songs.
Brian. Yes,
A little bit of Christmas celebration. And I think Miss Blipper and I are going to go through the Christmas section in a course. So we're going to start that Christmas theme.
Wow. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm not every day's Christmas for me. So
Me too. Kat says rice and lentils. She's being contrary again.
do you soak your lentils before you eat them?
No, that's one of the great things about lentils. It's one of the legumes that you don't have to. So they are just as nutritious and as digestible, more importantly, as if you soak them or don't soak them.
Okay.
I've added chickpeas into the mix.
I like
Admittedly, from a can. One of the only things I eat from a can. Just convenient because I don't want to take the time to soak them, but maybe one day.
tomatoes. Canned tomatoes are typically healthier than store-bought tomatoes.
Huh, interesting.
Now, pulling off the vine, to me, there's nothing better than that. But
Right. All right.
Well,
so
I can blab all night. Love and peace to all.
Love and peace to you. Love and peace to you all. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Coming by, hang out with us. Thanks again. Take care. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. I don't know how to